Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. Live on hot7025fm.com.
This is Herflow from Hot 702.5 FM. Las Vegas, looking for a winner-takes-all way to burn off that extra energy? Welcome to Bouncy World, the ultimate climate-controlled indoor playground. We're stacking the deck with specials all week long. Cool off with Frosty Tuesdays featuring ice-cold treats for the kids. Then join us for free popcorn Thursdays, because nothing beats a salty snack after a giant bounce. And at Bouncy World, we believe every child deserves their moment to soar. Join us every Sunday from 9 to 11 a.m. for Sensory Sundays. We dim the lights and turn off the music to create a calm, inclusive space designed specifically for our newer, diverse community. At Bouncy World, we fly high. From high-flying fun to inclusive play, we've got it all. Visit us at bouncyworldlv.com to book your party or check our open play hours. Bouncy World, jump into the fun today.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California's sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 702.5 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
E-Class Consulting. It's owned and operated by Carice, providing tools, training, and resources that are sure to make you and your business even more successful. We are staffed with a marketing, credit, tax, and a real estate consultant. E-Class Consulting also provides a temporary admin service called E-Class Admins. Want to book an appointment with E-Class Consulting? Call 702-518-3002 or email book@eclassconsulting.com. E-Class Consulting, navigating you to greatness. Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
In the mix with DJ Mr. West. Hey! Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5.
All right. There we go. Are we live? We're live. Huh? All right. Well, welcome to More Life with Mr. West. I am your host, Mr. West. I am a licensed insurance broker right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm also a pre-need specialist here at Inspired Life Funeral Home. This show is all about education, real conversations, and helping you get more out of life by planning ahead so that you can be present and live in the moment. If you ever want to reach out, you can always reach me on Instagram at west.morelife. That's west.morelife. Today, we're talking, well, the whole series we've been talking about pre-need arrangements and just planning ahead for that instead of, waiting for that moment to come. So this week, we're talking about something that people may not be prepared for, and that is the real cost of a funeral home. But before we dive into the topic today, before we get going, we like to start the series or start the show with what you did to get more out of life this week. So jump in the comments. Tell me, what did you do this week to get more out of life? Let me know what you did. I'll tell you what I did to get more out of life this week. Man, I had a staycation. Man. And that was something I needed, man. My little cousin. Shout out to Art by Bonizzi. Go get you some Art by Bonizzi. But shout out to my little cousin. Her Instagram is Art by Bonizzi. Go look at her page, and she has stuff for sale. But shout out to her, man. She watched my little one, Lil Wes. She watched him for me. When he goes over there, I don't have to worry about anything. She's gonna take care of him. She's gonna feed him some vegan stuff. He's gonna be eating good, and he has a good time. But she watched him for me so that I could just have some time to myself. Finally, I think when we take on parenthood, you already know that your time is going to be limited, and you're taking care of your child a lot. You're a full-time parent, but you still have to make time for yourself. Still make time to go relax, go hang out, go, whatever you want to do. You still got to take time to go do that. So that's what I did to get more out of life this week, and I really appreciated my time, and it felt good just to relax. I want to shout out Revive Lounge. Go to revivelounge.com, make a reservation. They're having their grand opening this week, Friday, the 15th. Reservations start at 5 and they go all the way up till 7:30. Huh? 10? Oh man, we're going all night. We're going all night over here at Revive. So jump on there, get yourself a reservation. revivelounge.com. The grand opening is this Friday. They've got lots of good tasting teas. They've got mocktails. Oh, and the teas, man, they serve the teas like tea's supposed to be served. They bring it out to you, and they let it seep and all that stuff. I'm like, what's going on here? You let the tea seep a little bit. They got a little sand glass that shows you how much time needs to go by before you start drinking it. And it's not served. They don't serve the tea with honey because I guess tea is not supposed to be served with honey. But you can request honey if you want to, because we all like a little sweetness in our tea. But they serve it the way it's supposed to be served. And then if you want to doctor it up, you can obviously go ahead and do that. But they have great teas. The mocktails are good. They have non-alcoholic wine and beer. It tastes good. It tastes really good. And I still feel like I get a little bit of buzz out of it, but there's no alcohol in it, so that's a good feeling. The food is good. The one thing that I like the tomato soup that they have. I usually get that with the grilled cheese. It's pretty good. They've got this adult PB&J. I'm interested in that to see what that tastes like. Adult PB&J. Let me see what that tastes like. Different salads, man. Turkey breast salads, Caesar salad. Lemon pepper. Lemon pepper turkey sandwich. Lemon pepper chicken salad. It's bomb, man. Just come taste it out, man. It's good. Yeah, like I said, grand opening this weekend, this Friday. Go on the website, go get your reservation. They're booking up fast, so you better hurry up and get in there. I also wanted to RevibeLounge.com. RevibeLounge.com. I also wanted to shout out Inspired Life. Inspired Life is the funeral home that I work very closely with. They specialize in cremations, but we can also help you with your burial too. They have 3 locations. They have a location right here in Summerlin. There's another location in Green Valley. There will be one in Centennial. There's they also have another location next to Allegiant Stadium. That's also where the crematorium is. What? Okay, that's where the crematorium is. That's where they do all the cremations. Shout out Inspired Life, man. If you want to, go ahead and give them a call, man. When you call them up, you're gonna talk to Patty. Patty's a receptionist. Patty's great at what she does. Patty's gonna get you in touch with one of the arrangers. You're gonna talk to either Angelia, you're gonna talk to Angela, you're gonna talk to Chelsea or Denise, Marquand. They're gonna get you set up. These people are very caring. They're very good at what they do. But they're very thorough. They're going to get you squared away with the least amount of stress as possible. Because we all know that just losing a loved one is still stressful. Josh over there, Josh is in charge of making sure that your loved one looks good. He does a really good job too. The crew, man, they really treat you like family. You're not a number that's just sliding through. They treat you like family, man. And the cries come in and the laughs come in, man. So it's really like a family in there. Yeah, man. Can we put the phone number back up there one more time? Give them a call, 1-800-723-1465. If you want to set up a pre-need arrangement, you can set that up with me. We've been talking about pre-need arrangements this whole time, but 1-800-723-1465. You can make an appointment with me. I can go over a pre-need arrangement with you and set up a new one, or I can go over your existing one and just to make sure that it's right, make sure that you understand everything. I said before in one of the other shows, there's a lot to pre-need and insurance, and some of the stuff, people, they may not understand. Some things they understand, but I think about me, I think about my own family. I'm like, man, my family would love some of this information. This is like free game. And I'm giving it out to you. Like this is what this show is about. This is about me educating you. I'm not trying to hold any information or anything like that. I want you to know what's going to happen, during a funeral arrangements, and then later we'll get into like life insurance and annuities and all that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna let you know everything that I know, so that you're educated. You can make an educated decision on your end of life planning. But let's go ahead and let's get into what today's topic is about. Today's topic is about the real cost of funeral services, burials, and cremations. And a lot of people simply they just don't realize all the costs that are involved, all the expenses that are involved. You don't realize it until you're in the moment, and then all these different charges start springing up, and they kind of catch you off guard. So that's kind of what we've been talking about throughout this series is planning in advance. Real quick, I forgot, before we go back into that, let me tell you what pre-need is. Again, pre-need is a pre-arrangement. It's an arrangement that you're making in advance for cremation or for a burial. That is for who's this for? It's for everybody. It's not just for seniors. It's not for people who are only healthy. This is for everybody, no matter your health condition, no matter your age, even those seniors that are in, and young people those people that are in hospice. You can still benefit from a prearrangement, and it's a gift. It's a gift to your family. It's a gift that reduces stress because when a loved one passes away, it's stressful. And even with a pre-need plan, it's still stressful. But when you plan in advance, it's going to reduce some of that stress. So yeah, it's for everybody. There's many ways you can pay for a pre-need arrangement. There's life insurance that you can use to pay for it. A lot of times, with Final Expense can help pay for your pre-need plan, but you just have to remember with Final Expense, whoever that beneficiary is, they don't have to do that. They don't have to pay for your funeral service. They don't have to do anything you say with that money. They can do whatever they want to. If your niece wants to take that money and go to Aruba, she can go do that. If she wants to put a down payment on a house, she can go do that. So just keep that in mind with the Final Expense policy. If you have a life insurance policy, like a whole life policy or like a term policy, then you can assign the funeral home as a beneficiary of some of the policy, and then the funeral home will be responsible for carrying out your final wishes. There's obviously you can pay for pre-need in advance, you can pay for it in full. That's an option. There's payment plans that you can make. You can make monthly plans, monthly payments. You can make, quarterly, semi-annually, annually payments. And then we also talked about the funeral insurance that goes on top of your payment plans. And that's to help if you pass away before you finish making your payments. So within the first 2 years, they pay a percentage depending on what month you're in. After the first 2 years, they pay 100% of your funeral arrangement. So keep that in mind. What else did we talk about last week? I think that was it. Oh no, we did talk about what happens when your loved one passes away. Like calling the funeral home, calling is the hospice supposed to call? Do you call 911 or do you call a hospice? Like, who do you call? And it really depends on the situation. Some people have a plan set up already with the hospice, so that the hospice is usually when someone goes to the hospice, they are preparing to pass away. Sometimes people live a little bit longer, and that's a great thing. But usually they're preparing for their loved one to pass away. So the hospital is aware. The hospital is going to say, hey, make sure you have a funeral home set up already. So when this person passes away, call us so that we can, and this is if someone's at home, call us so we can come pronounce them. And if they're in their care and like in an actual hospice facility, they're going to pronounce them there. But then the hospice will call the funeral home, and the funeral home will come pick them up. And the funeral home would take them into their care. So yeah, we talked about that last week. So back to this week, today's topic: the real cost of the funeral and services. So what are some of the costs and that begin to add up? Let's talk about professional services. So you'll see these lines on here. Actually, let me just go through all of them. There's professional services, transportation, preparation, casket or urn, cremation fees, service fees, printed materials, flowers, cemetery expenses, headstones or markers. All these kind of things, all these things are going to be lines, payment lines that are going to come on your invoice. And you're going to be like, man, what is this? What is the professional services? Okay, that's basically you paying for the staff to help do your service. You're paying for the cost of using the chapel at the funeral home. And you're paying for, the documentation of everything. Then there's transportation. When your loved one passes away, they have to be transported from wherever they pass away to the funeral home. So, that's something that costs, and that cost can range, especially if you have a loved one that passes away out of state or out of the country, as opposed to, passing away at home. That cost can be, that can fluctuate a lot. And then there's preparation. So what's preparation? So preparation that's where Josh comes in. Josh is the one who's going to prepare your loved one. He's the one that's going to make sure that they look good. So that may be, makeup or hair, or sometimes, there's I want to say, it might be like a violent death or something like that. And Josh is going to make sure that, your loved one looks good, so that you don't see certain things that's just not appealing. But he does a good job at making sure that your loved one looks good. The preparation could also be embalming. Embalming is important. Embalming, the funeral director will say this, the embalming helps slow decay. It doesn't help stop decay. So, with that being said, it is important to get things done in a timely manner. If the funeral home is asking you to, complete certain paperwork or something like that, get that done quickly, because while that's going on, your loved one is decaying, and that could cause a problem for like visiting, like if you want to have a visitation, and it does starts to smell. So get that stuff done as quickly as possible. There's the cost of caskets or urns. They range. I've seen them as low as $1,000. I've seen them all the way up to I can't even tell you how much. They go up so high. Same thing with urns, man. But you need a casket. If you're gonna get buried, you need a casket. If you're gonna be cremated, you need an urn. There's cremation fees. It does cost to cremate your loved one. Like, the facility has expenses that they have to pay to operate the machine. Let's just call it the machine. I don't know what it's actually called, but the machine that they use to cremate you, they have to, that thing costs money. There's like gas, and then there's electricity that goes along with that. So they have to pay for that. There's service fees that falls along with documentation. Excuse me, not documentation. The service fees are the actual service that happens, and those services range. Sometimes they're very short services. Sometimes they're very long. You have to pay for that. There's printed materials. So there's an obituary, there's flyers, there's sometimes prayer cards, all these sorts of things, and many things that you can still add, but all those things cost money. All those things are going to be billed to you. They're going to be billed to your family. There's flowers. There's flowers there's a nice flower display that sometimes goes on top of the casket. They call it a spray. This big, huge bouquet that goes on top of there. There's the standing wreaths. There's many different types of displays for flowers, but the flowers cost money. There's cemetery expenses. Last week we talked about going into contacting the cemetery and getting your plot paid for. So you have to pay for that separately from the funeral home. There's also the headstone or the marker that goes with that, and those prices can range too. So people underestimate all of the costs that are associated with having a funeral service. So I wanted to go over those couple things with you just to give you a heads up on what to expect. And this is if you don't plan in advance. If you plan in advance, then these things are happening. You've probably paid it off already, or you're planning to pay it off, and it's not a surprise, for you. And it's less stress, and you get to decide, certain things. You can decide on what type of casket or what type of urn, what type of service you want it to have. Before we take a break, I wanted to just go into burial cremation cost differences. Of course, with a burial, you're going, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, but a burial, you have to have a casket. We talked about having a cemetery plot. There's opening and closing fees. That's basically opening the dirt, opening the ground so that there's a place for your casket to go. And now they're making it a requirement for you to have a cement block within that opening within your plot. That's a requirement now. That cement block, that's a fee to have that in there too. They're going to add that on there. And so that's opening the plot, putting that cement block in there, putting your casket in there. Excuse me. And then there is a fee to close the plot. And then obviously there's the cost for the headstone, and then there's the cost for the service that you're going to have. The cremation costs, that's going to include, like we said before, the cremation process. That includes refrigeration, because we don't cremate you right away. It may take a little bit of time, because there's still paperwork and forms and stuff that you have to fill out. So we need to refrigerate you. And then, once we're ready to go, then you go into, what do you call that thing? Just call it the oven. You go in the oven. Huh? The crematory. But what's the actual machine called? It's called a crematory? Crematory. Well, you're going to go in there, and, there's a cost to operate that. There's also the urn, and then sometimes people have a memorial service very often people have a memorial service with their cremation. I remember we had a kid not too long ago. The kid had a beautiful looking chariot that the casket went inside the chariot. The chariot drove all the way down to the crematory, and that's where from there he went into the crematory. But they had a little memorial service at the funeral home, at the chapel, and then from there they went to the crematory, and it was a beautiful service. But there's memorials that you can have with a cremation, and you can have a visitation with cremation as well. So yeah, that's just some of the differences between a burial and a cremation. We're going to take a quick little commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what families did not expect. So peace out. Be right back.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
To roll up, tell me what's the hold up. So get it. Let's talk about this now. I'll make it real loud. Unneeded problems, trust has fallen. Got folks calling my phone now. What you gon' do? Need me to do? Roll through and solve this problem. Unneeded problems, trust has fallen. Got folks calling my phone now. What you gon' do? Need me to do? Roll through and solve this problem. You real tight lips, saying nothing. I might jump ship. See you drowning into nowhere, and you best believe you wanna play the victim. You gotta play the victim. Unneeded problems, trust has fallen. Got folks calling my phone now. What you gon' do? Need me to do? Roll through and solve this problem. Unneeded problems, trust has fallen. Got folks calling my phone now. What you gon' do? Need me to do? Roll through and solve this problem.
What it is, I know you run your sister, so I'ma just keep it crisp. Ooh, believe me, I love what you got, but I'm young and I'm dumb, running straight to the top. Leave it color coded with it. Love whenever you be showing emotion, yeah, that mean I got you. To be honest, ain't a lot of chicks that really top you, and you know I'm with it, nothing to lose. You got the juice. I be around some groupies, but I'm not into those. Yeah, I want you in the picture, but you changing your pose, banging me up, calling my phone, saying you know what I'm doing. You know you hard, you ain't moving. So tell them cats in them DMs, if I see him, my baby gon' be making a post that say free him. Cause your love worth 100 miles of running facts. Let me call this girl back.
In the mix with DJ Mr. West. Hey! Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5.
We on? All right, we're back. We're listening to More Life. I'm your host, Mr. West. I'm a licensed insurance broker and pre-need professional right here in Vegas. If you ever want to reach out, you can hit me on Instagram at west.morelife. That's west.morelife. Today we're talking about the real cost of funerals and services. So we went over a few things already. The next thing we're going to talk about is what families didn't expect. When it came to setting up a funeral service for their loved one. And there's some unexpected realities. One of them is that these decisions happen very quickly. This is why it's important to pre-plan in advance, because when your loved one passes away, there's calls that have to be made, there's forms that have to be filled out, there's people that there's family members that need to be contacted, there's service you have to set up. And these things, they really do have to be done quickly, because you don't want your loved one just laying around the funeral home. You don't want that to happen. And like I said before, we can do embalming for your loved one, but embalming just slows the decaying process. It doesn't stop the decaying process. So it's important that that you make, when the funeral home is giving you directions to do something, that you do it quickly, you get the forms back quickly. And like I said, pre-planning helps get rid of some of that stress. So you don't have to rush to make these types of decisions because they're already made in advance for you. One thing I did want to point out, when you do a pre-need arrangement, it is important that you fill out what's called an authorization to cremate or bury. This is you assigning someone to be authorized to conduct, or to authorized to approve your cremation or your burial. If you don't do that, then the state is going to assign your next of kin. And sometimes you don't want your next of kin to be the one to handle your arrangements. Sometimes you want your neighbor Bob to do it, or your coworker to do it. Sometimes you want somebody else to do it for whatever reason. And you can do that. You can assign someone to do that. And it's very good to do that in advance, because if you don't, and let's say your next of kin, say they don't want to handle it, they don't want to do anything with it, or we can't find them. We've dealt with situations where the family is, the immediate family is estranged. There's, the grandpa's out here, he's out here by himself. Grandpa could have assigned someone to be that authorized person to do his to authorize his cremation or his burial. And so, anyways, if you don't do that, and we can't locate your loved one, your next of kin, we have to wait 30 days. We have to wait 30 days. We have to give the next of kin time to reach out to us to make the arrangements. So I just wanted to say that real quick. Costs can stack together. I think I just need some water. You don't have to get that right now. Costs can stack up. These like we went over earlier in the show, there's 10, 12, 13 different things that can add up, and you're looking around like, man, I didn't know I have to pay for this. I didn't know I had to pay for that. I didn't know there was all these different service fees. So the cost can add up pretty quickly. There's also family disagreements. Sometimes there's a disagreement between a cremation or a burial or something like that, or the day the service is going to be held, the time the service is going to be held, the place where the service is going to be held. Sometimes there's disagreements. That doesn't happen all the time. Not every family is going to have that disagreement. Some people recognize who the leader of their family is, and then they let that person do what they have to do, and there's no argument. Sometimes there's a struggle, and there becomes an argument. So that really depends on your family dynamic. There's emotional spending. Sometimes people are spending on things that they really don't have to spend on. You're just doing it because you think that's what your loved one may have wanted. And so you're kind of going overboard because you're emotional, and it's okay to be emotional. It's just knowing when you are emotional, and then not spending extra or too little because you're emotional. Sometimes people are emotional and like, man, I don't care what you do with them. I don't even want to have nothing to do with it. I don't want to spend nothing on them. So that's happened sometimes too. But got my water here. But making these arrangements in advance will help eliminate, emotional spending. Hold on, I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Grab a sip of your water. Thank you. I'm back. And then there's, the pressure to do the right thing. And that kind of falls into emotional spending too. Your family members, they may be saying, well, we want to do this. We want to have a big ceremony, and we want a funeral coach, and we want a chariot, and we want a 3-hour ceremony, and we want food, and we want all these things. And that's fine. That's, if you want that, then that's good. But you don't want to be pressured to do that. It doesn't have to. You don't have to have pressure on you. So plan it in advance, and get everything written down on paper. We'll file it in the funeral home. That way, there's no confusion when that time comes. And the funeral home will be responsible for carrying out your last wishes. Next thing we're going to talk about is how pre-planning helps. And this has sort of been, the theme of everything. You're going to have clear decisions made ahead of time. There's no surprises. There's no guesswork. All your forms and your documents are going to be filled out in advance. I think last week we talked about like the decedent paperwork. That's the paperwork that you use for your death certificates. So sometimes, sometimes people don't know like the maiden name of the person who passed away. They don't know the date of birth. They don't know their mother's and their mother's name or their father's full name, or they don't know the social, or sometimes they're just missing information. Sometimes you just don't know it. So planning in advance is going to allow you to, get, certain forms filled out so that there's no guesswork, and then there's no delays in getting your death certificate. Because if you have a delay with a death certificate, there could be, it'll have a domino effect, and it'll be a delay with, the insurance company or the bank or whatever else you're dealing with, a trust or whatever. There's reduced financial stress. Financial stress is reduced because it's paid for. You've already done it. No one has to, scramble to, get funds together to cover your funeral service. There's also reduced emotional pressure. We already went over that, and it is a more organized process. And then you have time to make decisions when you do it in advance. You can come back and you can change something if you wanted to. If you want to change the color theme, or if you want to change the type of casket or urn that you picked, you have time to come back and make those changes. And it gives your family a direction. They know what's happening. They know what to do. That's going to eliminate some, disagreements, because this is what you wanted. This is what you paid for. And these are the directions that you left for them and for the funeral home. So let's get into payment options and funding. there's a few ways that you can pay for it. We kind of went over some of them last week, but there's savings. Maybe you have a savings account set up that's specifically for this. Great. You could use your savings account to pay for this. And this is obviously a savings account that you're going to use when, well, I wouldn't say it's obvious, but because you could use your savings account to pay for it in advance, or you could use it to pay for it at the time of death. Obviously, that would be on your next of kin to make those arrangements. There's insurance. Insurance can pay for it. Like we said earlier in the show, final expense can be used to cover it, although they don't have to use final expense. Your beneficiary of the final expense policy does not have to use that. There's an assignment that can be done with your life insurance policy. An assignment is going to be you're assigning a portion of your policy payout to the funeral home, and then they're going to cover your last wishes. And then there's pre-need funding. There's the option to obviously pay for your service in advance, or pay for it monthly, yearly, quarterly, semi-annually. You could do that, and those will include an insurance option, and the insurance option is going to allow you to pay. The insurance will kick in. After 2 years and pay you 100%. Within 2 years, it's going to pay a certain percentage depending on what month you're in. There's assistance from family, and there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe you have to go ask your family members for money. Maybe you have to go do a fundraiser or a GoFundMe. Sometimes it is what it is, and you have to go do that. What I'm talking about today is maybe taking the opportunity to pre-plan for that, so that you don't have to go, ask family for money, or do a fundraiser, or set up a GoFundMe account. I'm trying to give you a better option than those. Okay. But sometimes it gets there and you got to do what you got to do. So just, do what you got to do. And so, all these different ways they offer, they provide money for you to, insurance provide money. Family can give you money. Fundraisers can you can raise money to pay for these things. But if you don't have the plan set, then, there's still some stress there. There's still decisions that have to be made. So, give your family some direction, make the plans in advance. Yes, all the other options are great, but also have the money and then have the plan for your service, so that they're not scrambling. And so it could really be left as like a gift for them. Before we get out of here, I wanted to just go over some reflection real quick. Just a couple questions to ask yourself. Would your family be financially prepared? Have you discussed your wishes with anybody? And would your family know what decisions to make? If you can answer all those questions, great. If not, then you need to go ask somebody those questions. So that's it for More Life with Mr. West. Once again, I am a licensed insurance broker and pre-need specialist right here in Nevada. I work at Inspired Life. Give me a call. See if we can get the number up there before we dip out. Maybe, maybe not. If not, you can use Google. You know how to use the Googler. All right. Next week, what are we talking about next week? Next week, we are talking about, I don't know. Just tune in next week. And we're talking about emotional versus financial decisions. So tap in next week with me. And if you have questions, man, leave them on here. Call me, DM me, west.morelife. That's west.morelife. That's it for me. Peace out.
Keep your radio radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot702.5fm.com.